After months of build-up and anticipation, several weeks of dedicated storytelling, and multiple days of pro wrestling from every promotion able to run a show, WrestleMania 37 has finally arrived. This is the single most important pay-per-view of the year for WWE and its superstars. It's the event with the most press coverage and the biggest worldwide audience, which means everyone is looking to make a lasting impression with their performance. This year's pay-per-view is the company's first attempt at a return to normalcy. After a year without fans in attendance due to the coronavirus pandemic, this is the first time the WWE Universe was able to attend the show live and see the men and women of WWE do what they do best. It will still be some time before the company returns to touring, but for now, we get to experience professional wrestling with reactions from a real crowd again. It's the way this wacky form of entertainment was meant to be enjoyed. Tonight's show opened with the WWE Championship match between Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley, and closed with Bianca Belair challenging Sasha Banks for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Let's take a look at every bout from the first night of WrestleMania 37 and see if WWE was able to live up to our lofty expectations. Hello, friends, and welcome to this very special edition of the Wrestling Forum, our Night 1 recap. Excuse me, of WrestleMania 37. Don't adjust your audio. Yes, it is indeed Anthony Florio here, sitting in tonight for good old MF Michael Fletcher. Work commitments beyond his control. He can't be with us this evening, but he will be back with us tomorrow night for our Night 2 recap. I am joined by my elite panel as always. We got the Phenom, Michael Bullock. And after a little mini hiatus, we have the Twisted Angel, Dee Dee Woodson, the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum. Only fitting, especially after what we just witnessed. So, no kickoff show match because, you know, they obviously wanted to save it for the main show, which I applaud for that. The only downer of this show, there ended up being a delay. The show ended up being delayed by about, I want to say, in excess of 25 to 30 minutes due to a weather delay, the first ever weather delay in WrestleMania history. You know, there was reports of scattered thunderstorms and rain that was supposed to hit the Tampa area during that time. And thankfully, they got the delay out of the way. And thankfully, there were no more interruptions. And this show went off without a hitch. And what a way to start it off, folks. For the first time in WrestleMania history, the championship that has main evented more WrestleManias than any other was the opening match. WWE Championship on the line, the champion, the almighty Bobby Lashley, with MVP in his corner, squaring off against the challenger and former two-time champion in his own right, the Scottish Warrior, Drew McIntyre. When all was said and done, the winner of the match in 18 minutes and 20 seconds, and still, yes, you heard me right, and still WWE champion, the almighty Bobby Lashley. What? Oh, wow. WWE, well, I'll say it like this. WWE did an excellent job improvising during the rain delay. The superstars gave great promos, and it felt like everyone was on top of things while they waited for the all clear. When it comes to this match, this is the kind of powerhouse versus powerhouse bout that defines professional wrestling. It was just two big dudes beating the life out of each other. They started a little slow, but as time went on, they hit bigger and bigger moves. Both men did things we have never seen from them before to make this special. They also left themselves room to grow in future encounters. They didn't throw everything in the kitchen sink into this bout to make sure they could top it down the line. This was a great way to open the pay-per-view and set the tone for the rest of the show. Solid 4 stars. I don't think there's any question about that. And I would probably, and it's definitely within our top fight of the night realm for sure. No question about that. So not much more to say on this. I mean, Phenom, Michael Bullock, I mean, can you believe this? Bob does the unthinkable. We all, every one of us and our mothers thought that Drew McIntyre was going to get the three-peat, get the big moment in front of the crowd, which he couldn't get last year. He didn't even get it this year. Bobby Lashley still the WWE champion, and what I consider, regardless of what happens tomorrow, this is the shocker of WrestleMania 37, hands down.
Yeah, I mean, this was something I don't think anybody saw coming. I mean, but first off, I mean, can we just take a moment to appreciate the moment of having our great WWE universe back? I mean,
what a great way to start with Vince McMahon, and all the superstars on the stage.
And I think Rhea Ripley's face, it pretty much tells the whole story of how each and every superstar felt having the WWE universe back.
Absolutely.
I mean, I just got goosebumps. I got goosebumps during that whole thing at the beginning. I mean, if you can't appreciate, to me, as far as I'm concerned, that's a WrestleMania moment as far as I'm concerned. I don't care what happens the rest of WrestleMania, especially tomorrow night. So, yeah, I'm with you on this one. This was a 4-star match. I mean, this was definitely a be-a-man fight. I mean, these two definitely did not hold back. Yes, it did start off slow, but yeah, I mean, it really picked up at the end, and let's not forget one thing, Florio. Drew McIntyre did not submit. He passed out from the hurt lock, so that just shows you the strength of Bobby Lashley's hurt lock. And boy, howdy, I mean, all I can say is to you, Florio, is that Bobby Lashley's going to hold on to that title for as long as he wants to, because right now, I just don't see anybody else on your roster that can possibly dethrone him. Drew McIntyre was your only hope, and he lost. So, yeah, to me, there's really nothing more to say except a 4-star match. Dee Woodson.
Oh boy, it definitely was good to have the fans back in the arena again. And that opening segment, you could tell just about everybody standing out there was not in character. They were all just soaking in the crowd that was there, soaking in that moment that that they haven't had in like 2 years now. The last WrestleMania they had with fans was 2 years ago. So you know that they were just soaking in that moment and just enjoying every minute of it. And it's hard when you're in that position to stay in a certain character. I mean, even Roman Reigns, I mean, you could just tell they just soaking in all that. So it was awesome to see, and very, very fitting to have Vince and the rest of the family out there announcing that they were back in business with everybody from that was supposed to be on both nights. So yeah, it was totally awesome. And then they started off with a great match, and these guys they tore it up. They set the bar high. So yeah, definitely 4-star match. It's gonna be that was a tough match for them to start with, for everybody else to try to beat. But we set that bar high, and we make it through a really great opening match for WrestleMania. So not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Florio.
And you could tell, Florio, that Drew McIntyre, you could even see the emotion coming out of him. Not only, I mean, he was all fired up to perform in front of the crowd.
He certainly was. And I, for one, like I said, I'm still in a state of shock regarding that. I mean, we all thought Drew was going to win the belt, but wow, Bobby Lashley. Unbelievable.
Well, Derek Ferreira in our chat, he said he actually went with him. So
He sure did.
from our
Credit to
group,
him.
he was the only one. So yeah, we definitely got to give him credit on it to go with Bobby Lashley. That was a bold move,
Yes, indeed.
and it paid off.
Yeah, unbelievable. No matter what happens the rest of the way, including tomorrow, there's nothing that's going to be more shocking than that. I guarantee it. All right. Next up, we had the tag team turmoil match to determine the number one contenders for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. They will challenge Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler tomorrow night on night 2. We had the Riot Squad. We had Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. We had Natalya and Tamina, Naomi and Lana, and the randomly thrown together tag team of Carmella and Billie Kay. It started with Naomi and Lana and Carmella and Billie Kay. And Carmella and Billie Kay, they pick up the win in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. And then 2 minutes and 35 seconds later, the Riot Squad was the next team, and then the Riot Squad knock off Carmella and Billie Kay. And then about 4 minutes and 15 seconds after that, the Riot Squad eliminating Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. There was a botcheroo by ringing out to Mike Rome. Mike Rome said that that the Riot Squad had been eliminated, but it turned out Mandy and Dana were eliminated. Maybe he was a little overexcited. I don't know. And also on the way down, Mandy Rose slipped on the stage because it was so slick because of all the rain and whatnot. And then just about 5 minutes after that, and the winners of the match in a total time of 14 minutes and 15 seconds, and the number one contenders for the Women's Tag Team Championship, earning the match against Jackson Baszler tomorrow night, Natalya and Tamina. Michael Volek, I mean, if you like, we talk about be a man fights, but tomorrow night with Natalya and Tamina against Nia and Shayna, that's going to be a woman fight. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, that's definitely gonna be a woman fight, and yeah, I'm gonna give this about maybe 2.5 for the effort here. I mean, it's tough to rate tag team turmoils with the way it is, but I thought it was fine for what it was. I mean, nothing really special to really write home about, but you know what? I mean, yeah, I mean, give credit to Natalia and Tamina. I mean, I'm pretty sure Florio, you thought Mandy and Dana were gonna win and get that opportunity, but score one for SmackDown again. I mean, I'm telling you, at this point, SmackDown's really been at the forefront. Uh, so yeah, there's really nothing more for me to say. So Dee Woodson, it is yours.
Yeah, I could probably go about 2.5 on it. It started off with the I guess you'd say Carmella cheating a little bit to pick up that first win, but it was still, it was good placement for them to put this because this was a good cool down from that first match, and they did very well. Um, and it was good to see, that it did end up being the Riot Squad versus um, Natty and Tomato in the end. So yeah, congratulations to Natty and Tamina, and we'll see what happens tomorrow, whether or not they're going to be able to pull off taking out the tag champions. So not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Florio.
Yeah. Billie Kay was channeling Damien Mizdow by trying to mimic Carmella's mannerisms during their entrance. It was funny, but also a reminder of how far Billie Kay has fallen since the Iconic split. Unfortunately, this bout suffered from the problem a lot of gauntlet matches face. Every match felt a little rushed, so the whole thing was a series of pinfalls that weren't convincing. It did have some highlights, though. Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott had some fun spots against all three of the teams they faced. It just wasn't enough to keep this from being kind of a mess. The finish was predictable, especially once it was clear who would enter the match last. Natalya and Tamina are convincing as a dominant duo, so hopefully they have a good match with Nia Jax and Tamina tomorrow night. I would probably say by default, this was probably the worst fight of the night here. 2.5 stars. I think that's the correct rating for this. So with that being said, let's move on to our next matchup here. We had Seth Rollins going one-on-one with Cesaro. Winner of the match in 11 minutes and 35 seconds. It was the Swiss Superman, Cesaro. Didi Woodson, Cesaro, getting his first real, true WrestleMania moment tonight.
And he definitely deserved to have that moment. It was a very well done match. These guys, they brought it to the table just like they've done every other match that they've had together. And congratulations to Cesaro for actually pulling this off and taking out Seth Rollins, because I mean they took each other to the limits. I'm going to give it about 3.5 stars. It was a very well done match. So not much more I'm going to add. It's yours for you.
Oh yeah, 3.5 stars indeed. Man, imagine. I mean, the only little nitpick I have is they didn't get more time. I mean, 11:35. I was kind of hoping for a little more, but still, the problem with a match like this is we build it up in our heads so much before it happens that it is almost impossible to live up to our expectations. Luckily, these two were up to the challenge. Surprisingly, they kept the risky spots to a minimum and focused more on innovative counters and storytelling. They did a good job making Cesaro into the underdog, even though he is physically equal or above Rollins in almost every way. The fans gave him a great reaction when he won. If WWE is smart, it will follow through on this push and put him into that hunt for a title of some kind. Like Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre, Cesaro and Seth Rollins left themselves room to improve in a future encounter. This was great from top to bottom. I'm going to give this between 3.5 to 3.75 of a star. But Michael Bullock, if they did all that in 11:35, think of what they could have done if they had more time, like say 15 to 20 minutes.
Oh, they could. That could easily be 4.5 based on the body work if they had given them more time. So, but it was still a damn good match, no doubt about it. Despite it being short, 3.5 to 3.75. I agree with you on that. I mean, Cesaro getting his WrestleMania moment as a singles competitor. I mean, he's had some moments, whether it was as a tag team or, of course, winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, but never in a singles match. But he got his moment against one of the best in Seth Rollins, and hopefully he can get the kind of push that we expect. But will it happen? Only time will tell. So, yeah, nothing more to say. Let's move on, Florio.
Very well. And we move on to our next match of the evening, the battle for the Raw Tag Team Championship. The champions, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods of the New Day, defending the title against the phenomenal AJ Styles and the debuting Omos. Winners of the match in 9 minutes and 45 seconds, and new Raw Tag Team Champions, the phenomenal AJ Styles and Omos. Omos scoring the winning fall. So I'm going to give this about, I'll probably give this about a solid 3-star effort here. I mean, this was all about making Omos look like one of the most physically dominant superstars on the entire roster. In that regard, it succeeded. Was this a spot fest or a technical showcase? No, but it didn't need to be. Omos came in and almost single-handedly destroyed one of the greatest tag teams, if not the greatest tag team of the modern era. Few have looked as unstoppable in their debut match. From a storyline perspective, this was exactly what it needed to be. The New Day's cockiness finally backfired, and now Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods have to regroup, while AJ Styles and Omos rule the Raw Tag Team division with an iron fist. Solid 3 stars for the effort. Michael Bullock, we've seen this a lot during our Raw chats, and we saw it here tonight. Omos. Oh, what a debut.
Whew. Man, that's definitely how you make an impression in your debut, especially at WrestleMania. And yeah, and unfortunately for the New Day, they found out the hard way. So 3 stars. I agree with you on the rating. I mean, I thought it was a good match for what it was. So yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more to add to it. So DD Woodson, it is yours.
Yeah, I can agree with that rating. 3 stars. It was very it was a very entertaining match. I wasn't surprised that New Day dominated AJ, and I certainly was not surprised to see almost dominating everybody else. So yeah, the for me, there was no doubt on who was actually going to walk away with the title in this. So not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Florio.
All right. Next up, this was a match that Michael Bullock and I had a very vested interest in. For only the second time in WrestleMania history, we had ourselves a pure traditional steel cage match. Go back to WrestleMania 2, Hulk Hogan and King Kong Bundy, when they main evented for the title in that old school blue steel cage. It was Shane McMahon, one-on-one with the Monster Among Men, Braun Strowman. Winner of the match in 11 minutes and 25 seconds. It was the Monster Among Men, Braun Strowman. Michael Bullock, we got exactly what we wanted. We wanted to see Shane get his comeuppance, and he did just that. All aboard the Strowman Express. Raw!
Roar! And I'm definitely aboard the Strowman Express, and yeah, I mean, I thought, and I don't know about you, Florio, but I thought this match was better than expected. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, I'm not saying it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. I'll tell you that. I mean, they put forth a good effort for what it was. Um, what was the time again, Florio, on the match?
11 minutes and 25 seconds.
2.5 to 3 is my rating for it. I'm leaning more towards 2.5 as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. DD Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, 2.5 to 3. That sounds like a pretty good rating for this. So yeah, it was a good match. So I'm not going to add too much more. I mean, it was just amazing to see Braun Strowman actually rip the side of the cage and pull Shane back in. I mean, these guys, they did a great job. My only nitpick is we did not need Elias and his flunky out there um, outside the ring at all. So, I could have done without that part of the whole thing. But other than that, I mean, they did a great job. So nothing more I'm going to add. It's yours, Florio.
Yeah, solid 3, maybe 3.25 for this. I mean, the buildup for this match was atrocious. We all know that, and expectations were low. That being said, Braun Strowman and Shane McMahon overachieved and ended up having a decent match. The big fall from Shane was brutal, and Strowman peeling open the cage was a cool spot. Everything else was exactly what we expected this match to be. McMahon tried to outsmart his opponent, but ultimately failed. Being better than expected helps keep this match from killing the pace of the show, which was a serious concern when it started. Let's hope this is the end of this storyline because Strowman needs to use this win to pivot back into the title picture. So about 3, maybe 3.25 for that one. All right. Next up, this was the celebrity match. This was the match that was very heavily pushed. The Miz and John Morrison squaring off against Damian Priest and Bad Bunny. When all was said and done, the winners of the match, in 15 minutes and 5 seconds, Bad Bunny and Damian Priest and and Bad Bunny pins The Miz to win this match. Dede Woodson, I think Bad Bunny just may have pulled off a Pat McAfee regarding his debut. A lot of rave reviews.
It was surprising. I don't think a lot of people was expecting to see, that much out of Bad Bunny, and I mean, he pulled off that Canadian Destroyer move, and I mean, everybody was just, jaws dropped. Even Damian Priest. I don't think anybody knew he had that in him. It was, it ended up being, in my opinion, the sleeper fight of the night. That was just, more than I think anybody expected to see out of this match. That was awesome. I'm going to give it 3 to 3.5. It was very well done. And Bad Bunny, I know he'd been training and everything, but it was very surprising to see him come out there and be able to pull off everything that he pulled off and still pick up the pin at the end. So not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Florio.
I'm going to go on the record and say this was the sleeper fight of the night. I mean, there's no question about this. I mean, just like with Braun Strowman and Shane McMahon, I thought I had very low expectations going into this, especially with all the campy comedy nonsense and whatnot. But, oh my God, they surpassed my expectations and then some. Unbelievable. Celebrity matches are never going to be clinics, but on their own terms, they can be highly entertaining. Bad Bunny clearly put in the effort to make sure he didn't embarrass himself or the company. Some celebrity performers come in and do a few moves. Bunny actually worked the majority of this match without any help from Damian Priest, other than Stephen Amell at SummerSlam 2015 when he teamed up with Pac/Neville against Barrett and Rhodes. It's hard to think of a celeb who put in this much work. Since expectations are always low for celebrity matches, Bad Bunny came out of this looking great. He took it seriously, put in maximum effort, and looked better than anyone could have hoped. He had a lot of help from The Miz and John Morrison, who deserve a lot of credit for making him look credible. And this match, I'm going to rate it on a bit of a curve, but all four men deserve to be praised for their performance despite all the comedy nonsense building up to this. So, sleeper fight of the night for me, 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. Michael Bullock, I mean, sleeper fight of the night, and Bad Bunny. Rave reviews tonight. What an effort. Unbelievable. I just gained a lot of respect for this young man tonight. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody saw this coming. I mean, I really wasn't expecting much out of this, but man, oh man, I mean, yeah, give it up for Bad Bunny. I mean, I didn't think he had it in him, but boy howdy, he certainly did, and then some. So yeah, so 3.5 to 3 3/4. I mean, this match turned out to be way much better than what I originally expected. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Florio, I think it's time to make history.
Or herstory in this case. The main event of night 1 of WrestleMania 37 from Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida, the home of the Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. For the SmackDown Women's Championship, the champion, the boss, the legit boss, Sasha Banks, defending against the challenger and the winner of the 2021 Women's Royal Rumble match, the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair. When all was said and done, the winner of the match in 17 minutes and 15 seconds, and new SmackDown Women's Champion. She's not just the EST. She's now the BEST of WWE, Bianca Belair. There is no question about this. The only thing I can say about this was the fight of the night, hands down. I got to give this about 4 1/4, maybe 4.5 stars. The emotion at the start of this match helped make it feel like the true main event of WrestleMania, and the crowd helped reinforce that feeling with its reaction. As the match unfolded, both women used every trick in their playbooks, It's hard to think of anything else they could have done to make this any better. Sure, there were a few small mistakes here and there, but the match as a whole was simply fantastic. They sold for each other, took risks, and made every move count. When Belair won the title and was declared the winner, the crowd went nuts. This first night of WrestleMania was enjoyable and set the stage for tomorrow's night 2 to be even better. Just about every outcome was the right booking decision, and every match had something to enjoy. 4.25, 4.5 stars, fight of the night, and I'm going to do this for the late great Gorilla Monsoon and Good MF Michael Fletcher. Michael Bullock, as I give it to you, history was made at Raymond James Stadium, or in this case, herstory was made. Bianca Belair, the new SmackDown Women's Champion, and damn it to hell, deserves every damn bit of it.
Both of them deserve it, as far as I'm concerned, after what they did tonight. I mean, there was definitely a lot of hype for this. I mean, and it definitely delivered in this match. 4.25, 4.5, definitely the fight of the night. Emotions were definitely running high. I mean, especially from Bianca Belair. You could see the emotion coming out of her when she was announced, and yeah, I mean, this is just an awesome moment, and not only for and I don't know about you, Florio, but not just a moment in wrestling history, but also for all the people of color, because I mean, to have 2 black women main event WrestleMania, I think it's a win for both of them, as far as I'm concerned. Just for the history part of it, it's a win for both of them, and both of them should be proud for what they pulled out tonight. But definitely major congrats to Bianca Belair. She has made history, is now the SmackDown Women's Champion, and as I give it now to Dee Dee Woodson, all I can say to you, Dee Dee, is that you got to be one proud woman after what these 2 women pulled off tonight. And as far as I'm concerned, and I don't know how you feel, Dee Dee Woodson, they're both winners as far as I'm concerned. It's yours.
Oh yeah, this was definitely an awesome main event, and you could tell at the beginning of it how emotional both of them were, because they both, again, broke character, because not only was this the first singles match for a main event for women, but like you said, the first match of color for the ladies as well. Because the last time the ladies main evented, you had 3 in there, not 1-on-1. So this was definitely very historic, and these 2 definitely knocked it out of the park. They did an amazing job at this. I'm gonna go 4.5 stars on this. This was definitely, for me, the fight of the night. These girls did amazing. Toe for toe, pin for pin, move for move. Even going as far as using the hair, and something we don't see Bianca do as much as she used to. She even used her hair as a whip. That was just amazing to see these 2 go to the lengths that they went. And even with Sasha coming out with a new look, she still, in the end, she didn't pull it off. Bianca was still the new BEST of WWE. She proved once and for all who the EST was. She proved once and for all that she can take it to the limit, and even, basically bench pressing Banks back into the ring after them spilling out. I mean, it was just amazing to see what these 2 could do and how they could tie it up. And, congratulations to Bianca. No, she hasn't been on the main roster very long, but she just did something amazing on her first night in front of a crowd on the back in business show of WrestleMania. So awesome. Congratulations. 4.5 stars. So it's yours, Florio.
All right. We're now going to get into our overall review of night one of WrestleMania 37. Michael Bullock, Phenom, you started off.
I'll tell you what, Florio. I don't know how you guys feel, but I think this definitely delivered. This night one definitely delivered. I mean, obviously with the shocking outcome of Bobby Lashley once again. I mean, basically holding on to the WWE Championship, which we did not expect. Even though, like we said, Derek Ferrera was the only one who went with him, and it was definitely a bold move there. So, and the women, everybody's going to be talking about the women main eventing. So yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this to me was 8 to 8.5 as far as I'm concerned for this first night of WrestleMania. And all I can say is for night two, those competitors, you got a lot of work to do to try to top what we saw tonight. So nothing else to say. Dee Whitson, it is yours.
Yeah, I could give it 8.5 to possibly teetering on 9. This was a very well done first night. They have a lot to do to top tonight. I mean, that was just an amazing night. The only low point was the tag team turmoil match, but other than that, I mean, they nailed it out. They nailed it. They knocked it out of the park. They did a great job on night one. Everything delivered. Everything went the way it should, except for the unpredictable weather that no one has control over. Other than that, I mean, they did a great job, and then they even improvising. It was probably tough to come up with something on the fly like that for some of them, but they did a great job. When you have to improvise at the last minute for the weather to clear up enough to do it, and then I'll even give kudos to Mandy Rose, even though she slipped and fell. She got up and she just shook it off and went on as if nothing had ever happened. So I mean, yeah, they did a great job tonight with what presented itself there. So yeah, not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Florio.
Yeah, I'm going to give this about 8.5 myself. I mean, out of all the matches on this, we only had one bad match, and that was that women's tag team turmoil match. Other than that, every match was solid to good to great. And I think we can't ask for any more on a night like this. And we'll see what happens tomorrow night. Night one was solid, definitely spectacular, and the main event really put it over the top. I mean, there's no question about that. Sasha and Bianca, the fans wanted it, they got it, and Sasha and Bianca, they rewarded us fans, and they're like, you believed in us to get the main event. We got the main event. If it wasn't for you guys, we never would have had this opportunity, and we're going to make sure you get handsomely rewarded, and we got handsomely rewarded by Sasha and Bianca tonight. So thank you, ladies, for that. Very much appreciated. We'll be forever grateful for that. No doubt about it. They were the fight of the night. Second best fight of the night, Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. Rounding out the top three, and I can't believe I'm saying this, Bad Bunny and Damian Priest against The Miz and John Morrison. I still can't believe it. I never would have thought I'd put that in my top three of fights of the night, but they damn sure deserve it, especially after the effort of Bad Bunny here tonight. Unbelievable. And Cesaro and Seth Rollins, that would probably be my fourth best fight of the night. And then probably would go with Braun Strowman and Shane O'Mac in the cage. and then can't really remember what else there was, but definitely the worst fight of the night, no question about it, was the women's turmoil match. That's and I feel bad for those gals. They tried, but it was just yeah, the Raw tag title match, that was number 6, and then coming in as the worst fight of the night was the women's tag team turmoil match. But 7 matches on the card, 6 were solid to good to great. Only 1 was a real meh clunker, but hey, 6 out of 7, that ain't bad. So definitely it's an 8, maybe an 8.5 at the best. So well done. Congratulations to everyone involved. Great job all around. And well, folks, it is it's onward and upward for night 2 of WrestleMania 37, and we will have that for you. We will have the recap of that for you all tomorrow night. I just received a breaking news. The attendance has just the exact number was just announced, but they said that WWE has announced a sellout crowd of 25,675 in attendance for night 1 of WrestleMania. Now, we do know that WWE has a tendency to overflate numbers, and we'll have to wait and see on that. No word on where they got the extra 675 from, but nonetheless, there you have it. So that's that. Night 2 tomorrow night, in no particular order. What we can expect. We already know that that the main event, of course, will be Daniel Bryan along with Edge challenging Roman Reigns in a triple threat match for the Universal Championship. Of course, we also have the Fiend going up against Randy Orton. We also have that Nigerian drum fight for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship with Big E against Apollo Crews, and we also have Kevin Owens going up against Sami Zayn with Logan Paul involved. Asuka and Rhea Ripley for the Raw Women's Championship. Riddle and Sheamus for the U.S. title. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler against Natalya and Tamina for the women's tag team titles. And then, of course, the big one, Roman Reigns, Edge, and Daniel Bryan for the Universal Championship and the triple threat. So it's going to be a big night tomorrow night, night 2. And as soon as we're done with that, join us over on Good Old MF, Michael Fletcher's channel, Braves Fan 95. MF will be back with us tomorrow night as we will recap night 2 of WrestleMania. And then Monday night, we have Ridiculously Raw right back here on the Tone 25 as we will review all the fallout from the Monday Night Raw side of WrestleMania 37. And in a very special Tony's Take, I will have an exclusive review of the Impact Wrestling Hardcore Justice event that took place this afternoon on Impact Plus. I'll have a review of that in place of my usual Tony's Take this time around due to time constraints. And then we'll go from there. So that's it. So until tomorrow night for our night 2 recap of WrestleMania 37 over on MF channel, Braves Fan 95. This is Anthony Florio here for the Phenom Michael Bullock, for the Twisted Angel Didi Woodson, and in spirit, good old MF Michael Fletcher, and of course, always and forever, the hardcore pipe bomb FKG 401 Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune Forest style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Sunday. Enjoy night 2 of WrestleMania. And until tomorrow night for the night 2 recap, you've been watching this very special edition of the Wrestling Forum, our night 1 recap of WrestleMania 37 right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. Remember, folks, no matter what anyone tells you, beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long. Bye, everybody. Bye.